Hey guys, welcome back to Our Lives Across the Border. I hope you are doing well today. I am outside again, trying to get a little bit of some fresh air. My dogs are outside with me, and there's some pigeons that are teasing them, so hopefully they don't knock my camera over. Anyways, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please do. Please like this video and drop a comment about any questions that you may have that we could possibly answer. So I actually wanted to touch down a little bit on, hold on, there's a truck over there, right? It's tractor actually, very common here where I live. We actually have fields on the other side of our street where they grow, I see a lot of hay, and one time they were growing cauliflower. But anyways, back to what I was saying. So one of the common questions that I get asked a lot about is how dangerous really is Mexico. You know, living in the States, at least where I was living, I'm sure everybody, we get the same news, you know, it always is so dangerous, and what's going on with the cartels, and people are coming up missing, and people are being killed, and, you know, all you hear is all this bad stuff, like, that just happens every single day, and nothing ever good happens here. And I have to tell you, when we first got here, you know, we had obviously had heard those things too, and we even had family, you know, say, be careful, you know, don't drive at this time of night, you know, this is supposedly happening over here, and this is supposedly happening over there, and there's Miss Stella. Anyways, and yes, we were actually kind of scared, you know, when we first got here, because we didn't know what to expect, and the only thing we knew is what was being told to us. You know, we were being told things where, like, if you drove on a certain road at certain hours of the night, that they would try to steal your car. You know, basically there would be a car in front of you, and you'd be driving, and then this car would come up from behind you, and they would do something to get you to pull over, and they would basically take your car. Okay, so little things like that. It was things that we were, you know, that we were being told about, you know, things that were happening. And so it was nerve-wracking. It was really nerve-wracking, you know. And I'll be honest, I was scared. I was scared. I didn't want to drive alone. I was scared being out at night. And one of the things here where I live in Mexico, at the border here, is the police, they drive with their lights on all the time. So, like, they'll even be driving behind you with the lights on. Sometimes you're like, are you pulling me over, or are you just driving, you know? It turns out they're just driving. If they make their little noise at you, then you know to pull over. But so at night, like, you can see them all over, you know, when you're driving, and you can see them blocks and blocks and blocks away. And it's always that thought of, you know, why are they patrolling? What are they looking for? What's out here? What do they know? You know? And so the first few months, like, there's a fly bothering me. I was scared, you know. However, you know, now that I've been here for the time that I have been here, I personally have never experienced anything frightening. And I don't go out a lot at night, I will be honest, but I do follow a lot of the pages, like we all do in our communities where we live, on Facebook, with crime and whatever's going on. Are things happening? Yes, they are. They are happening. Is it happening to regular people that are not involved with anything? No, it is not. The carjacking stuff, like, you know, that was kind of random, and I don't really know if they ever really knew, like, who was doing that, and if it was actually ever really true, to be completely honest. It was just, I heard this, you know. Now, have we had people that have been taken out? Yes, we have, in the town over. And when the story comes out, guess what? They were involved in something, okay? So basically, if you're living here and you're minding your business and you're not involved with anything, you probably are not going to be a victim of crime. Does it happen? I'm sure it does. Just like in the States, you can go to the mall and something can happen. You can go to Walmart now. You can be in a parking lot. You can be at work and somebody loses their mind and goes crazy. So, you know, still have to be mindful when you're out, but I actually feel more nervous when I go back to the States now and I go into like a Walmart or I go to the mall. I do think about those things that happen, where when I go out here, I don't really think about that anymore. Like that, you know, could I witness something? Yes. Could you be an innocent bystander? Yeah, you possibly could be. But it's not like all this stuff that they're saying, at least where I am at. I'm pretty close to the border. I know some states here are dangerous in Mexico. Thankfully, where I live, it's not. There's stuff going on, but like I said, it's within their little groups. It's their little issues, you know. You'll see people that come up missing and then they're found, and then, you know, then you find out that they were involved. So I don't feel like it is dangerous as they say, at least where I'm at. I do know, like I said, there are areas that are dangerous that we wouldn't travel to right now because they've got issues going on, and we wouldn't want to get in the middle of that. But it is not like it's made out to be, where like this is like happening everywhere and, you know, it's all crazy over here. It's pretty calm where we live. And I guess we're fortunate for where we live, because I do know that there's people that they live there, wherever they live, because they have to, and it could be a little bit more dangerous. But we are fortunate where we live. It's pretty calm here. So I just wanted to address that. I'm not saying that things don't happen. I'm not saying that it couldn't happen. I'm just saying that since I've been here, I've never heard of anybody that wasn't involved in something having an issue, you know. So yeah, I don't feel unsafe here, I guess you could say, where I am at, you know. I do drive in the dark. I don't really go out at night late, obviously, but we are out early in the morning, and I never ever have felt like unsafe, like going outside my house at night, like even out in my street or walking around, you know, none of that. When I first moved here, it was a little nerve-wracking to me because the military does drive through your neighborhoods. You'll have the police drive through, the military will drive through, and when they drive through, they're in their trucks. Sometimes they even have like Humvee type looking things. And they do have, I believe it's probably like an M16 up on top, bolted on. And sometimes, you know, you will be in the grocery store, and they'll be standing behind you with their weapons right there, you know, because they're gonna buy something. And then when you go out in the parking lot, you'll see a bunch of them guarding the vehicle. In fact, I remember when we first got here, and we had went to, like, we had stopped to get something to eat. And they came in like that. Like, at first it frightened me, like something was wrong. They were coming in because something was wrong, but no, they were just coming in to get something to eat. And so now a lot of times you'll see them pulled over, like if it's around breakfast, lunch, or dinner, you'll see them pulled over getting food. But they do patrol the neighborhoods. And so when I first got here, that was, at first I was like, oh my gosh, like there must be something going on. But it's normal. That's what they do. So like I said, I don't feel unsafe where I am at. So anyways, I hope that that puts a little light on a little bit of that, oh, it's so scary down there. I'm sure it can be in some places, just like there are certain cities in the United States that are dangerous. That's the same thing here. But where we're at, it's pretty calm, and I feel safe. So anyways, don't forget to subscribe if you have not. Please like this video and give me some ideas on some things to talk about with you guys. Have a good night.